What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever episode of Super Dungeon Boys, working title. Hey, we might stick with it, we might not. And I am joined here in the virtual studio tonight. Oh, by the way, my name is Garrett Morlang. I am typically your host, Colonel, Dad. We have the regulars. We got Adrian. We got
What's
JJ.
going on, everybody?
What's up?
But boy, we got my good pal, Derick, the DM. He's going to be taking us through a little House of Horrors, a little spooky one shot here, D&D one shot. So, Derick, how's it going?
I'm doing okay. It's bright and early over where I am, and we got the whole day ahead of us to play some D&D. So, looking forward to it.
Whoa, hold on, wait a second. Time out. Garrett, you said we were going to be playing Little Nightmares. You didn't say nothing about us playing Dungeons and Dragons. I told you before, dude.
No, he said this is going to be a nightmare for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Now, you know what?
Because you're little, you're right. And it's going to be a nightmare. So
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay, now I get it. Okay, proceed. Yeah.
So Derick, you're going to be DMing for us tonight. Give us some of your history on D&D. I'm just I only ask that because I know your history, but I want to hear a little bit of your story, just if you have any at all, just to kind of give the listeners a look behind the screen.
Sure, that's really cool. So I've been playing D&D, quote unquote, playing D&D for just as actually as long as Garrett has. I think every time I've ever played, it's been with Garrett. But what got me into D&D though was I was listening to a podcast that JJ might be interested in. It's a Harry Potter podcast called Potterless. Shameless plug for that guy. I'm not going to get anything for that, but he does a podcast where he pretty much bashes Harry Potter for like the first book and a half, 3 books, because he never read the books, never watched the movies until he was like 25, and then he goes and somebody convinced him to read them all, and he does like a little book study through them, and by the third book,
I wonder why, full adult, you wouldn't like these children's books.
But he ends up loving them. Like he gets to the third one, and it's like a full 180, and he everything he does now revolves around Harry Potter. He quit his job and just does Harry Potter
quit
stuff.
his job?
Yeah, he's podcasting, and he joined. So long story short, he had a bunch of guests on, and one of them was just talking about how they love to go to improv classes and stuff, and how fun it is. And then through an improv class, they started playing D&D together, and then that guest gave a pitch for his show, and I started listening to that and just got hooked. I'm like, man, I liked doing improv when I was in high school. That was really fun. Where the heck was this when I was in high school? So I've just been listening to a bunch of them, because being a 30-year-old dude with a wife and a couple kids and a real life, it's not easy to do this. So I appreciate you guys, taking the time out of your Saturday evening. I'll come clean. It's Saturday evening, but yeah, it's fun. I like doing this, coming up with goofy scenarios and hopefully some spooky ones, just to kind of take people through, and just it's basically just playing improv with each other with just some parameters. So I like doing it in high school, and just D&D scratches an itch that I didn't really know that I had, and it's just hard to do that when you're a 30-year-old guy. So everybody.
Sometimes you just want to play pretend, it's weird to do it in your backyard, or with your neighbors watching. So
I've got a 2-year-old, and we go in the backyard and we play Power Rangers, but it's just me playing Power Rangers. Yeah, and
I paid for this house. I'm paying these taxes. I'll do whatever I want on my property. All right, don't you worry about that.
That's awesome. But yeah, that's basically it. It's just getting back into your 10, 13-year-old self, and just kind of playing pretend with your friends, and doing it sort of in a adult way, not to be not an X-rated adult way or anything like that, but just
JJ.
There's parameters and stuff.
I'm sure there are some campaigns out there.
I got pretty excited. I thought there were some real possibilities here. And now that Derick's talking about it, it sounds really cool the way that Derick's describing it. Every time Garrett has talked about it on the podcast, or with me in person, he always makes it sound so unbelievably lame. Nice, sponsored by Pepsi tonight.
No, we're not.
But the great
Can I
part
roll?
about
Can I roll a 20 right now to kill our DM? What is he doing?
That's Pepsi.
Well, the great part about the way you described it a second ago, Derek, is it actually, funny enough, guys, I'm going to take it back to what I love, pro wrestling. It actually sounds like pro wrestling, which is choreographed fights of guys pretending to hate each other, but in reality, they're working together and they're in front of live crowds with microphones and coming up off the top of their head. They have a bullet point of what they're going to say, unless they're given a script to say their stuff. But they work best, like The Rock and Hulk Hogan and guys like that in the past, Ric Flair, that would just go off the cuff, having bullet points of what they're supposed to say, and then taking it from there. So really, D&D sounds pretty much a lot like pro wrestling.
Yeah, I see that.
Are you saying wrestling is fake?
No, I didn't say that. No, I mean, people have said that. I didn't say that.
Neither are fake.
It's real to me. It's real to me.
Oh,
Let's get it
Garrett, you're
going.
muted.
I'm back.
Oh,
I'm back. I'm back. I'm sorry. Yeah, I've done that twice tonight.
cut that
Amateur.
silence out.
Yes, we're going to be playing some D&D. I'm excited. I hope these two boys are excited because they've never played before. Adrian and JJ are fresh. They have never even seen a dice before, let alone
Haven't played a lick.
Yeah, I am excited. So without further ado, I guess we just get into it, huh? Let's do
Deal.
this thing.
Yeah, starting now. So, we are going to find ourselves in the swamplands. Kind of imagine kind of a, helicopter shot going over some, sweeping like willow trees and so.
Now, quick, I need to interrupt you real quick. Are there helicopters in this world?
I thought this was
No.
fantasy.
I mean, we're doing a helicopter shot. Is there a helicopter?
Giant eagle. Giant eagle
Okay.
with a
From the bird's eye
recording,
view.
recording
Okay.
setup. Yeah. So there's a giant sweeping eagle shot over this massive swampland. There's a huge town on the south end of this swamp that we see, and then the camera, as it were, will kind of pan in lower and lower, and it's there's a night sky on the horizon, and you're seeing all these just sweeping willow trees and the moonlight shining off some of the water here and there in this bayou looking place. And then as we get closer to where we're at, there's a little shanty town. It's all like docks. It'd be kind of akin to some of the swampy looking places in Red Dead Redemption 2. If any of you have like given that any thought, like playing that at all, you might know what the swamps look like in there.
I've
If
never heard
not,
of it.
that's fine. Yeah. So
Never heard of it.
kind of like that. But yeah, and we zoom in, and there's a few docks, and it's just kind of like a bayou, and there's a tavern, and there is what else do we have here? We've got a tavern, a general store, and that's it. There's a couple other. It's just kind of like a trade route town outside of this big town. It's called Lunt. And we zoom into the top of the tavern, and we see someone fast asleep in their little room above the tavern. And Garrett, why don't you introduce your character who's fast asleep, and what's he look like?
I just imagine I'm just like me, like a little cartoon sleeping. No. My name is Raiden, and I am a high elf bard. I have dark hair, normally covered by a black hooded kind of cape that I wear over my leather armor, black and tattered and old and beat up. Yeah, I'm a very kind of pale complexion, not your typical happy-go-lucky kind of more joyous bard. I'm on the think more closer to death metal bard, I guess. Maybe think eerie, creepy goth bard, maybe. I don't know.
You're an EDM bard.
I'm an EDM
I'm thinking
bard.
more of like you're like a bard who's like on the spectrum. I mean, is that kind of where I mean, anybody else picking up that? No?
No,
Okay.
no, not really.
No.
So, but yeah, That's my character. I don't know how much more you want me to introduce. I have a whole backstory. We don't need to hear that right now.
Yeah, no, you're good. It's just kind of funny that you're an elf, like a high elf laying in bed sleeping anyway. You probably don't even need to be doing that.
I mean, 4 hours a day. I still gotta sleep.
Yeah. So you're fast asleep and you wake up to this raucous cheering in the basement of the tavern. You checked in last night by yourself and got a room and you're fast asleep up there, but then all of a sudden you hear and like a bunch of screaming and yelling in the basement, people pounding on the tables, and that jolts you awake.
What was that? What's going on? I'm gonna do a kind of check around the room because I'm kind of sort of startled by the noise initially. Correct? So it's kind of like
sure.
like what's going on. So kind of do an investigation check around the room and just like
For sure.
I'm gonna check my surroundings. That's kind of the first thing I do. If I'm startled awake, it's dark, I'm confused. So I'm going ahead and roll 4 investigation. I have a +5. I rolled a 2 +5. I got a 7. I'm
Okay.
very out of it. By the way, I'm a
you're-
level 6 bard. I didn't mention that. Level 6 for anyone who cares who's playing D&D before.
Level 6. So yeah, you get jolted awake, kind of groggy, stretching out. Some of this, and you hear, "Yeah, get him again!" And then you hear somebody say, "Take his legs out!" And
Jeez.
that's all you see. You're kind of just still getting awake. You don't notice anything in your room really. It's you notice that it's still nighttime. You don't know what time of day with your roll or anything. That doesn't really gain you anything. But yeah, just with your roll, you just hear people shouting. There's some sort of like tussle in the basement.
I'm gonna get up and go check it out. Why not? It's probably at the point in the night, or I've gotten my 4 hours anyways. I've gotten full rest, so I'm ready to go and kind of see what's going on. So I'm gonna go investigate.
Yep. Cool. So you creak the door to your room open, and you still hear this. Get him, hit him harder. You hear like a bunch of like cheering and screaming downstairs, and as you get out, you hear some thuds, like there's some like punches being landed or something like that, and you walk down the stairs, and you see a big lumbering dragonborn man and a small dwarf who looks like he's wearing a singlet, and there's an ogre, like more like looks like Shrek, but he's actually an orc, taking on the two of them, and it looks like they're in a wrestling match. Like the dragonborn man and the dwarf are trying to take down this orc. And why doesn't the dragonborn introduce himself?
I am Brudahn, the dragonborn. I believe I'm just a regular old wizard. Yeah.
Sorcerer? Wizard.
I think you're
Sorcerer. Same difference.
Sorcerer Supreme.
I am a quite large dragonborn with scales the color of gunmetal. And I have the classic dragon undercarriage, I guess, scales that are kind of a not gold is the word, kind of like a faded, almost like a mute, I guess I would say, gold.
Almost like a bronze color, maybe, or brass.
Yeah, like a bronze. Yeah.
Deal.
I cover most of my body in a large poncho, the same shade of a dark poison, which is a nice purple or blue to some, depending on how your eyes look at it. And my magic is based in cold or ice, or that effect.
Ice dragon. Sick.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. What about our dwarf friend?
My name is Kromgrim. I am a mountain dwarf who was raised a barbarian of a 4th generation of barbarians. But I wish not to go into my father's business of barbarianism. I truly wish to be a competitive dancer. But unfortunately, he would not allow me such courtesy. So I fled. And right now I'm doing whatever work I can. and no job is too small or too large for me for the right price. I currently have no hair on my head and a large beard that almost reaches my toes. I also have a six-pack. I know it's not believable, but I do have a six-pack. Come on, I'm just saying. Please, believe me. This is a podcast. You need to visualize this. Lots of muscles.
Lots of muscles.
All over my
okay.
six-packy
I can see
tight
it.
muscle thing. Yes, nice. And I'm heavily endowed. That's another thing. In case
All
you
right,
guys-
I didn't.
All right,
know.
okay,
No,
all right,
okay,
all right.
No? Okay.
The imagination stops there.
Yeah.
So currently, I'm wearing what I found of an old man's human undergarment, what one would call BVDs. And they're yellowed and stained and old, and I wear it as a singlet as I've ripped holes through the sides under the elastic and wear the elastic waistband over my shoulders. And thus is Kromgrim.
Oh man, I love that.
I love it so much.
So, Kromgrim and Brudahn, you guys are tussling with this orc named Malvin. He's just a big, burlesome.
Melvin.
Yeah. He looks a little bit like Shrek. Doesn't have the goofy ears, but yeah, basically wearing the same kind of garb. Got the brown tights and the little brown shoes and like a white shirt that's kind of ripped and tattered. And he says, "What were you gonna do with that halfling and the turtle?" And he pushes Kromgrim away, like it kind of gives him a stiff arm. And there's a few people just around kind of cheering because like this kind of stuff doesn't really happen in Lunt very often. Lunt's just kind of like a stopping point on a trade route, and there's a tavern here just for people who need to like snooze and stuff. But this guy might have caught you guys doing something shady.
Okay. So we're actively fighting right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kromgrim, take his legs.
No problem. I throw my battle axe at his legs.
Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to have the two of you guys take your D20 and we're going to roll initiative. So roll your D20 and tell me what you guys get.
Okay.
Kromgrim got 14.
Okay.
I got 7.
Okay. Well, bad news. Malvin got a 20. So he looks at you guys and he says, "I'm going to ask you one more time. What were you going to do with these guys?" And he points to the corner. And Raiden, you see he points over, and it's a couple of your old buddies sitting in the corner. There's a halfling and a turtle man. And they look like they're like kind of hogtied. And so he uses his turn to ask you a question.
You wouldn't believe us if we told you.
Well, I'm all ears, bud.
Well, we are mere bounty hunters that for the right price will turn in people that will gain us money to be able to feed ourselves.
A simple story.
He kind of just shakes his head and he says, "I figured that was the case." And he says, "If you're going to want to take them out of my tavern, then you're going to have to go through me." And he kind of crunches his knuckles and he says, "I can do this all night."
Okay. I thought we were going to be able to get out of this with no trouble, but let's do this.
Unlucky for you, I've been drinking Dubby all day, so I can go all night as well.
Anyway, I feel bad because I skipped Kromgrim's attack roll. So, Kromgrim, you started initiative and I skipped you. So, if you want to roll your hit dice, so roll your d20 again. Let me know what you got.
6.
6. So you definitely take your battle axe and you go to
One
swing
moment.
at Malvin here. And
One moment. Sorry to interrupt. Did you add the number you're supposed to from your character sheet, JJ?
good point.
No.
Should I have your character sheet open on my screen so I can help you?
Perhaps that would be nice of you to help Kromgrim. Kromgrim's doing some hardcore character work, so...
Well, Kromgrim, if you could look at your character sheet, there should be an attack on there. It says Great Axe, and next to it, it says hit/DC, and then plus a number. You need to add that to whatever you just rolled.
+7.
Okay, there you go. So Kromgrim got an 11.
Yeah, Kromgrim actually
Or
got
sorry,
11.
not an 11. That's 13. Sorry.
Kromgrim thinks that Raiden kind of sucks at math.
So, with an 11, 13, Kromgrim, you still miss. You reach for your axe and you swing, and Malvin just kind of looks down at you and moves his right foot out of the way and just shakes his head. And it goes right back to Kromgrim. You get to have another attack on him since we're back at the top of the initiative. But as you're doing that, Raiden, why don't you roll since you're down here, and if you want to kind of hop in or do anything, you can hop right into initiative here.
So I rolled an 11 plus 2 initiative. I got 13.
Kromgrim, it is your turn in initiative.
All right,
Kromgrim rolls 12, and then also has 7 hit points, so 19. I know Raiden can't do that math.
19 will definitely hit. So what are you trying to do to Malvin?
I'm going to swing with my battle axe against the orc.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you definitely hit. What does it look like?
It splatters in the middle of his chest, and out pumps a lot of his nasty green blood.
Yeah, so you
All over Raiden's face.
do that. And what are the roll your damage for your battle axe?
1d12 plus 4.
You'll forgive me because Kromgrim, they all look alike. Every one of these things look alike. Which one is that?
They all have a certain number of sides. Now who's bad at math?
Yeah, be the one with
It really hurts, Adrian. I mean, Ron, or whatever your name is.
Now that hurts. You don't even know who I am. We're in here trying to fight for our lives.
The d12, it has it's the one with 12 sides.
There's 12 of them. Just like this.
Kromgrim rolled a 10.
Oh, okay. And then is it plus anything for your battle axe?
The damage, right?
Yep.
Damage says 1d12 plus 4.
So 14. So you do 14 damage by striking him in his chest. And you're going, "Ah!" And he kind of comes back out, and you're standing there. And it is Brudahn's turn as you see him kind of staggering a little bit.
Okay. What attack would constitute just straight up old-fashioned boxing? Is that just attack? I just say I attack him?
If you just want to hit him with your hands,
Yeah.
there should be a spot on your character sheet. What's that called?
Unarmed strike.
Yeah, unarmed strike.
Okay. I'm gonna do unarmed strike. 14. Plus 3.
Okay. Yep, you got him. So what's that look like? We're gonna hit him.
I'm giving him a nice 2-piece. Right upstairs.
That's awesome. Yeah, you hear the whap whap, right? And you see this go on, and his head goes the one way, switch back the other way, and he kind of takes a few steps back. You hit him, and he just kind of staggers back a little bit more, and you guys see he's huffing and puffing, and he looks back to the corner where the little halfling and the turtle guy is, and he just goes run, and they're hogtied. So it doesn't really do him any good. And Raiden, it's actually your turn in the initiative if you want to do anything.
While that was happening, I was walking to whatever area they're kind of fighting in. Now, am I coming up like beside Melvin, or am I actually behind the Dragonborn and the dwarf? Like, where
Good
am
question. So as you come down the stairs, at the base of the stairs, you see the back of Malvin, and you can see the big Dragonborn with the gray scales and the nasty singlet dwarf beside him kind of fighting. And then you see your two buddies in the corner to your right.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm going to kind of walk up beside Melvin there, and as he's kind of leaning over to tell my friends to run, I'm going to step up, pick up my guitar, and play a little ditty while I shoot vicious mockeries at the little guy there. Boy, you fight half as good. The drunk uncle in the corner there. Just insulting the dwarf's fighting skills. And he has to do a wisdom check. I just insulted you. I'm going to do damage, hopefully. So, what did you roll?
I'm going to roll 13 currently.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Jeez.
It says -1.
Oh, it's just, is it really? If it
Yes.
said +1, you would have passed, but since it's -1, you actually failed. So I get to do 2d4 damage for you. So you're going to take damage here from my not so great insult, but you know.
Can we clarify for Kromgrim's knowledge? Basically, you talk trash, and Kromgrim got hurt.
100%.
Yeah, actually 4 points of damage. So you're going to take 4 points of damage on your character.
Off your hit points.
Kromgrim will remember that.
He hurt more than your feelings. And then as he's doing that, you guys kind of see things are getting a little bit more intense down here. They see Raiden whips out his guitar and kind of starts strumming, and you hear some people go, "Oh, there's a bard here. There's a bard here. Oh, what's going on? Is it like a little party?" And people are like kind of murmuring, and they're backing up a little bit, kind of making the ring around here, kind of like they're a little fighting. I mean, maybe there's like 10 people, but they widen out a little bit. And it is Brudahn's turn.
Stay out of this, bard. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's coming.
I don't care what's coming. I care about my friends. You better back off now.
I can't do that.
Well, then I guess you're going to die.
And you say that, and Malvin goes, "Oh, jeez Louise. Hey, can everybody just calm down? Ain't nobody need to be doing any bounty hunting in my tavern. If you're going to do that, do it outside." And he kind of takes a couple steps backwards.
Just take it outside.
and he like points at the door and just takes a couple steps backwards from you guys. But it's still your turn, Brudahn.
You idiot. We're not bounty hunters. We're trying to save these people.
He kind of just like tilts his head like a dog. Is it Kromgrim? And
Yes, but it's easier. It's easier to tell people this, as they wouldn't understand what it is, our true mission.
he just kind of like itches his brow and like looks over at the two dudes that are hogtied in the corner and looks back at you guys and looks at Raiden, looks back at you guys and just says, "Get the hell out of my tavern before this gets ugly."
Wait, me too?
Yeah. And he actually looks back at you, Raiden, and he's like, "If those are your friends, I don't know why you were up there sleeping, letting them get kidnapped or whatever the heck's going on here. Just get out."
I mean, they're grown adults. They should be able to handle themselves, but apparently not.
And he's like, "Well, the one's kind of small."
Kromgrim's been kicked out of places better than this before.
So are my friends saying, is he kind of like protecting is that the idea? Is like he's kicking us three out and he's just gonna hold on to my buddies in there?
Well,
That's what it sounds like.
He's just like, he's over this whole thing. It's making a big scene. He's trying to run a tight ship here in his little tavern. And he says, I've been working this tavern for my whole life.
300 years.
Yeah, I'm 57 years old. And I've been owning this here snapper's jaw for at least. And you hear somebody, you look in the corner and there's a really old man. He's like, "I've been coming here for 60 years and Malvin knows what he's doing. You best listen to him." And this old lady like puts her hand on that guy's shoulder and she's like, "It's time we get out of here." And this old couple gets up and walks past you guys and walks out.
All right, let's not cause enough trouble. Get out of here. Let's go. We're gonna finish this outside. So Raiden's heading outside.
I'm gonna walk right past these guys.
No, I'm waiting for them to walk out. I'm heading out, but come on, like, pushing them, corralling them. Let's go. Let's get out. Let's finish this in the streets. Take it to the streets. We'll break dance.
Save the community
if that's
center.
The case, if that's the case, if you guys let Raiden pass by without any shenanigans, Raiden, you step outside to kind of lead the way, hoping that these guys just kind of follow along to finish things up or whatever. You step outside and you notice there's a thunderstorm coming in, and rain starts to pitter patter on the ground. You guys hear
my favorite.
Like
what a beautiful day.
You hear the rain pitter pattering on like the wood shingles of the buildings, and across from the tavern you see there's a general store with it's got a little like red painted sign on it that just says Moe's Stuff, and that's it. There's like a station for like horses and stuff beside the general store, but that's really it. It's like a trail that goes through this quote unquote town with a tavern on one side, a general store on the other, and then just a bunch of docks leading into the bayou. And so Raiden, you step out and you're on the porch / dock of the tavern.
Yeah, I'm going to go stand at the end of the dock dramatically in the fog, just as it starts to rain. Just wait.
Yeah, and Brudahn and Kromgrim, what do you guys do?
I turn to quote unquote confide in Kromgrim before we go out. And I tell him, I ask him, Kromgrim, do you believe that the bard will listen if I tell him what I saw?
He must listen. He has no other choice. You will make him listen. Be fruitful and honest with him, and his ears will be open to what you have to say.
I'm not gonna lie, I got some Yoda vibes from that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. That's awesome. So yeah, what do you
I
guys
was
do?
also
You gonna
thinking
walk
a little
out?
bit of Doofenshmirtz from...
And then, so I just turn to talk to him. That doesn't count as an action, right? Now we can walk out.
Yeah, you guys are, if you're not fighting in the bar anymore, you guys are kind of out of initiative. You can do whatever you want. If you want to walk out and talk to him, it's your cup of tea right now.
We'll do that. We'll walk out and talk to him.
Awesome. So yeah, you guys also head out in the rain, and you hear the pitter patter of the rain on the roof, and you see Raiden, like 30 feet in front of you at the end of the dock, just kind of looking out into the bayou with like the mangrove trees and whatnot. And then some lightning strikes in the distance, and you see the light shine off the water, and there's an intense storm that's starting to pick up, and it's rolling in.
Okay.
Runwin, wait! You must walk slower so I may walk under you, as I don't like the rain and the thunder to get down on my dwarf head. I have no hair, and if I get struck by lightning, I will die. Allow me to carry shade underneath you.
Sometimes I think about moving.
Now, I need a little more clarification on Kromgrim's looks here. You just mentioned he doesn't have any hair, but dwarves typically have beards. Does he have a beard, or is he also beardless as well?
Kromgrim is bald-headed, but a very long beard that nearly touches his toes.
Okay, that's what I was hoping for.
So we walk up slowly, cautiously to Raiden, and I tell him, I say, Bard, you must listen. The swamp is in danger. I am a great and terrible sorcerer. In my meditation, I was given a vision. Something is coming. We tried to tell your friends. They were the first we encountered. They refused to come with us. We did what we needed to do.
Hear him well, elf. The words that he speaks are the truth. We kept them alive. We could have easily killed them. But we're trying to warn you for the goodness of the swamp.
Now, why is it my problem that the swamp's going to go away? This isn't my home. I'll just move on to the next place. Why do you need me? Why do you need us?
Because Bronwyn knows, because he is a great wizard, and not so terrible. I will give you that, not so terrible. But he saw a vision. A vision that you were the one to save the swamp from the darkness that is coming. And it's your destiny.
You're saying I'm some sort of chosen one now.
No.
Not in so many words. It's more like the last person who picked a straw. It's very similar to that.
All right,
No,
all right.
no. We are asking you, as one who shows ability comparable to us, to join our cause. It starts in the swamp. But whatever is coming will not stop here.
I'm going to stop you there.
Cool.
So as you guys are having this deep conversation, you all notice that people are starting to leave the tavern. Now it's really late at night. The moon's like at its highest point. It's hard to see it for the storm that's coming in. There's lightning and rain and stuff. But I want all of you guys to kind of hold that thought and roll perception checks. So
Okay.
find perception on your sheet, see what plus or minus you get, and give me a perception check.
Got you. 15.
Okay. 15. Kromgrim
I rolled
or Raiden.
I rolled a 9. I rolled a 9. I plus 7, so I got a 16.
Okay.
Perception says -1.
Okay.
Why do you have so many negative traits?
He's a barbarian. Doesn't use his noggin a lot. What'd you roll, big guy? Little guy, my bad.
Is that with the D20?
Yeah, you
Yep.
got to roll a d20.
6.
Okay, then
So
subtract a 1 from that, you got a 5.
5.
So, Brudahn and Raiden, you're a little more intuitive with what's going on around you, and Kromgrim, you're just kind of like in the moment, you're kind of like, yeah, boss, yeah, kind of hyping up your buddy. So you're not really
Strangely
paying
accurate from the normal Super Gamer Boys podcast.
And the two of you that were perceptive kind of notice that everybody coming out of the tavern, it was kind of hard to notice when you were like throwing bones in there and all excited and riled up. But it's all older couples. Like you see the two people that we're talking about leaving, they're arm in arm, like leaving the tavern. They go one way, and then as you're talking, a couple seconds later, another older couple like takes off and leaves. And you guys do it's not that this is just like a pit stop. There's like a few little residential houses like tucked back behind where the general store's at and where the tavern is, just like on poles.
Dungeon Master, are we allowed to ask questions on this podcast? Is this one of those swingers parties?
It might look like it. I'm not gonna have you roll, but yeah, you're seeing elderly human couples, just like that. That's what you guys perceive walking out of this tavern as you guys.
That's Cromrib's bag. I'm liking this.
Yeah, as you guys are talking, so you could continue, but you guys just noticed that.
Raiden notices that and goes, I go back to the conversation at hand and, all right, so if you need my help, why not A, ask first, and B, what's in it for me, other than saving this damn swamp that I don't care about? Maybe I will help, but what's in it for me?
How were we supposed to ask the person who came up and attacked us?
When I walk in a room and my friends are tied up, I'm not going to come up gently, Think about it.
Okay. The situation is understandable. However, we could use your assistance in dismantling this threat.
There's absolutely not, like, you're not going to pay me any gold or anything like that? Like, you just want me to help?
I'm a giant dragon wizard in a purple cloak, walking around with a small bearded man, do we look like we have money?
No, but Ed, what kind of danger are we talking about here? What's the issue?
I was given a vision.
I've seen some crazy stuff in my life, so give me something. What are we dealing with? Maybe that can sway me.
In the vision I was given, it was only the abyss. However, often flashes of light would occur, seemingly reflecting the speed of lightning. I have no idea what this means, but I feel the presence of many a creature. Something or some force is coming for us.
My goodness.
Raiden kind of feels a shiver down his spine a little bit, not expecting to kind of hear that description. I, without turning around, I'm just going to say, we don't ask questions. We're not going to talk about it any further, but let's I'm in. Don't question it. You don't need to know why. I'll help. Doesn't mean we're friends. I'm still pissed off.
Also, you may be asked to put a small item up your rectum, just to keister it in order to get to the end of the quest. But again, you cannot ask questions. Kromgrim knows all.
Kromgrim says that to you, Raiden, and there is a gigantic, clap of lightning, just, and then thunder following it, just almost like shock waves. And you guys all hear just a shrill shriek back towards where the general store and the tavern is, and it's kind of weird because it started you can hear it kind of in the thunder, and then the thunderclap goes away, and you still hear this shriek back towards the general store right after Kromgrim says that.
We need to roll another perception check.
Nope, you hear that back towards where you came from. You can roll a perception check if you'd like to.
I'm just going to run that way.
Yeah.
'Cause I know my friends are in there, so I'm just going to run back and see what's going on. Or not. They're not the general store, but they're that direction, so.
Yeah.
We're right behind them.
Yeah, so you guys all take off running behind Raiden, splashing through some of the puddles on the docks and whatnot. And you turn the corner from around the general store, and there in the middle of the street is